What up, YouTube? Just want to come at you with a quick little video here and kind of run over how I got my Z and how I got it ready for my first drift day. How you guys could also get ready for your first drift day with your car, whether it's like a 350Z, 370Z, G35, 37. But yeah, we'll get into that pretty soon. So I picked up my Z. I'm looking at the computer right now. I picked the Z up July of 2021. That was late July, so like July 29th. I had been looking for Zs for quite a while. I was mainly looking at 350Zs and G35s because they were like more affordable. And I was looking at these for like, I don't know, probably honestly over a year before like I kind of like pulled the trigger to make that decision to really go out and like pursue drifting. But yeah, that was it was kind of like a 2-year process of whittling down what I wanted to get. Before that, I started drifting on a simulator actually in 2012. So I've been drifting most of my life on a simulator basically. It took me a long time to go and like finally like buy a car. This is like a lot of money I had to save up and stuff like that. Like if you guys want to get into drifting, it's expensive. But yeah, I was able to save up some money, and I was looking at 350Zs, G35s, stuff like that, and my buddy Chuck found this car at an auto salvage. So I had never gone through the process of rebuilding a title myself. Never thought about doing it until my friend showed me how to, showed me this Z. But yeah, looked in that process. It's not that hard to get a salvage vehicle. If you guys are looking into salvage cars, like I would recommend it, honestly. Like that's one of the biggest things, like tips that I could give. If you're handy whatsoever, if you want to make like the initial purchase a little bit cheaper, look at some salvage cars, because I got a hell of a deal on my 370Z. I'm still at under what I would pay for like a new one with everything that I've put onto it. So if you're any handy at all, just get a salvage. All you got to do, at least in New Hampshire, is save every single receipt, every part that you used to fix the car. If you had to make anything, take pictures of what you made to fix the car and bring all that into a salvage inspection. You can either tow the car there, or what I did, I got a 10-day plate, and I was able to do it that way. So feel like I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, so I'm gonna kind of start just looking at these photos of the Z. First photo here is just like the first picture I've ever taken of the car. It's just the headlight. I just wanted to see how faded it was. They were actually both good. The headlights, swinging around the back, the rear passenger side taillight was missing. There's also a bit of damage on the quarter panel. And then you can see the rear bumper is all sorts of messed up. The hatch is messed up too. I took a picture of the hatch itself. This wasn't closing, it wasn't latching. So there's a picture with no weight on it. There's a picture with weight on it. Everything looks straight. On the insurance report, if you ever go to look at a salvage title vehicle, there will be an insurance report. Make sure you check that out. This one went off the highway it went over a grass median and backed into a pole. So that's what happened to this. It was titled as like a salvage title exterior car. So once I got done looking at everything else, we measured the hub from each hub on either side, and they were even, so the frame wasn't bent. We got it up on a lift. We looked at the frame. Everything looked good. Nothing on the frame. There was no rust on the frame. There is rust on the subframe, which is like totally fine. Replaceable parts. And after this day, I decided that I was gonna put a down payment on it, and I put $500 down on it. And this is the day that I picked it up. So these are the final photos here. You can see it looks pretty untouched. There's quite a few things that it needed. The rear tail lights, the rear view mirror. And if you look at this, it only had 56,000 miles on it, which is nuts. So, yeah, we got it home, had the tow truck driver follow me back. There it goes. After I dropped it off, I got it in the garage, and it was running and driving, so I got it in the garage, kind of just got a list of everything that I needed to get for it, which was quite a lot. It needed like almost everything, really. The car needed tail lights, it needed a rear bumper, which I still haven't put on. It needed needed mirrors, a new washer pump, because you need a washer pump to pass a salvage inspection. Needed new plate lights. It needed a battery. It needed rotors, pads. The car needed wheel bearings as well, and front inner fender wells. I also needed to get the Z1 undershroud. Air filters. It needed new tires. I also needed to get new rims because 2 of mine were bent. After I got most of that stuff on, like the rotors, the pads, and new wheels, the car was rolling down the road super smooth, and really took the new wheels to get it running smooth. So I knew everything was good after that. I was test driving on the road, you know, without a registration and stuff like that. It's just kind of what you do. Thankfully, I have a driveway with 2 exits, so I can kind of just drive in between the exits. It wasn't that big of a deal. But yeah, after I got it home, I started just ordering all the drift stuff I needed for the car. And really, this is where I guess my tips for building a Z come in. I left my car on stock suspension, stock handbrake. Basically, what I did was just replace the rear camber arms, the rear traction arms. I got extended SPC toe bolts so I can get a good rear end alignment. And then up front, I put the front upper camber arms in as well. So here's that shroud there. And this is the night before the salvage inspection. So this is basically everything's on the car that I needed to replace to get it on the road. And that was the night before. That morning, I went and got my salvage inspection and immediately went to go and get my state inspection and registration. So the car was good to go on the road from here. After that, it was immediately time to start focusing on the drift mods. First thing I did was the drift switch, and then dropped the diff out. I got the poly diff bushings. This is a nut that was really hard to take off from the exhaust. It was super fun. But yeah, here's a little interior shot of the extended handbrake version 1 there. That actually wasn't the version that I kept for the first drift day. But yeah, got the welded diff in, got the poly diff bushings in, got the diff brace in, all of the arms that I needed. And then this is the GK Tech bolt-on angle kit. It really wasn't much, kind of allowed for like, I think 45-ish degrees of steering, but the ratio felt good. And definitely would recommend that, because these stock don't really have much steering anyways. We got that lock kit in, and then we also got the front upper camber arms in. So basically I was able to get a good alignment on the car on stock suspension. Went for a ride along. So after I did get my front upper camber arms in, I went to go spectate at my first time at a drift event, really, which was at Nedco. And I got to ride along with Jordan, and yeah, it was nuts. It was nuts, and I had never thought it was gonna feel like that. But yeah, it was crazy, and I was in like a 5-car train too. It was something. Thanks, Jordan. After we got done with that drift day, I decided that it would be a good idea to get the cooling done in the car. So we ended up just getting the 34 row oil cooler in, and it doesn't show it in this picture, but I did put a power steering cooler in as well. And from that point, I got a AAA membership, because I wasn't sure if I was gonna tow the Z with like a U-Haul or whatever. And then there was a bunch of people who are like, nah, just drive it. And then there's a bunch of people that are like, no, trailer it. And I'm like, But then there was somebody, I think it was Dylan, who said, you should just drive your car, and it's like a rite of passage, to your first couple events. Fast forward to today, I literally drove my Z to every single event that I went to, which was funny. And we got the ticket. This is my first ticket I ever bought to go drifting, which is cool. Yep, got some more photos here. This is basically the drift day. After the first drift day though, my clutch needed to be replaced. That's just something that is very common with these cars. Not being the clutch, but the slave cylinder. It's an internal concentric slave cylinder. If they ever go bad in a G37 or a 370Z, replace them with an external unit, like from Z-Speed or Z1 something. It's just gonna make it so you don't have to drop your transmission later to replace the slave. It's just a lot easier. I ended up going with the medium weight flywheel, a 6-puck from Z1, and yeah, got the clutch replaced and was good to go from there. So I'm not sure if that's the end of the video. If I come across anything in editing, I'll try and add it in. But I just wanted to kind of give you guys a quick rundown of how I got my Z and kind of what I did to get it sliding good the first drift day. You don't need a whole lot to get these cars to slide, at least with, a low amount of angle. And on the first day it did really well. Might throw some clips from my first day in here, I don't know. But yeah, I just wanted to get a video out there for you guys. Sorry about the lack of content lately. I have been undermotivated, and I've just had really, no ideas on videos. There's not a whole lot going on in New Hampshire right now, so we'll try and get back to it and try and get some more videos out for you guys. But I figured this might help somebody that's maybe trying to get into drifting. Again, I guess we'll like do a wrap up, my main tips, you know, get a salvage car. Get a salvage car, learn how to work on the car yourself. I have never worked on cars until this Z. Like, all of my knowledge comes from, and you guys are probably gonna laugh, but it comes from YouTube. It comes from watching like Taylor Ray, comes from watching people like that, you know, do their thing. And I don't know, without like some of those bigger guys out there, like I probably wouldn't have tried it, because, you know, they make it accessible, and it is accessible. If you can work on your own stuff, if you can do that, you can save a lot of money. So get a salvage. If you're in New Hampshire, it's a lot easier to do a salvage. I don't know about Maine, or, well, Maine should be easy. I think it's Mass that's a pain in the butt. And I guess for Z's, you know, first mods, diff brace. Get a diff brace. Get some diff bushings. Get some rear arms, some traction arms, and some camber arms. Some SPC extended toe bolts, front upper camber arms. Get a good alignment, and the car should handle really well. As well, you could get like a little lock kit, the GK Tech or like the FDF one, whichever one you want to go with. You don't need that, but it makes it a hell of a lot easier to do it. So, because again, Z's have like 30 some odd degrees of steering angle stock. You can do it, but it's a pain in the butt. But yeah. If you guys like the video, please comment, rate, or subscribe. I'm sure I missed something. I'm sure I did. But yeah, have a nice night, day, wherever you are. Peace out.